Desperado, many, my amigo, Balotelli, ladies to give me photo, paparazzi, Don Julio, Don Diami, Ecumete la ni pestaza la Azametra la ni la Ecumete la ni pestaza la Azametra la ni la 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 it's not the way I see me here because of the way I talking to me here. Think you see me the street of Opa, you see me the street of Sapler, you see me go, you see me Intergenerational, you can talk to me like this. Me have a be wow. You know. I swear, Minister of Enjoyment, Intercontinental, Monumental, we go live forever. Chop another bank out. I think mad, they must be meta. Smoke is zaza, let me can't forget your mother. Ecumete la ni pestaza la Azametra la ni la Ecumete la ni pestaza la Azametra la ni la Desperado, many, my amigo, Balotelli, ladies to give me photo, paparazzi, Don Julio, Don Diami.
Television stage. It's a fella unannounced. Savage nigga. Always gotta sell it, gotta bow. Easy writing thread. But we never suffer crowds. I get Rickens a doctor clever shiba tabatso. Chumi tama mini man. Kabagelezen. La house abakelemela. That's a winner. Osi wari peme pen. Kama bele bele. Usike wa penela na. Utakawa deha. Pepe pepe ba. We show na salila sama sonke salila sama sonke pepe ba we show na salila sama sonke salila sama sonke have a chum Sorry, but I mean, I'm going to do man. He has a denga has a good modu shadi. I'm cheranga man. I stay to kupum tuarero man. Please. Koto muke na yasingi. Bite 10. Give a slice. Stop a bite. We get on my dive. Can I kill it time? Have you seen my wife? Hush. Karamime, hush karamash. Karikile chine, dripping in design. Karinkamu sign, Karinkamu feet like a muisa musish. Mole kima ni, hey, Kava musin. Pepe, Pepe, we show it now. Salila, summer song, Salila, summer song, Pepe, Pepe, we show it now. Salila, summer song, Salila, summer song, Havachon, 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 Havachon. Give Papa dog. Yeah, I give Papa dog. What's about BT and I about really too lyrical when I'm made what on so relaxing into us. I don't be out. What's about us? But he's some shop. Relax. What's about Miss 17 stress about Saka company don't pass and take him allow on a halenta dig 2020 nice. Delegating, eh?
Hi, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Am I audible? If I'm audible, can I get a thumbs up or any reaction? So, my name is Puvitanda Hengari, and I am from Namibia, and I am currently the AfriYAN EC Communication Focal Point, and I'll be your host, not your host, but your moderator for today. And I would like to welcome everybody. So, colleagues, this is a webinar on intergenerational dialogue, and I would like everybody to make use of the chat box for any comments, any suggestions, any questions. And also, it's very important to know that that when we are going to have a panel discussion, so it's very imperative that during the panel discussions, you address your questions during the Q&A sessions, right? So now that we have that out of the way, I would like to introduce our speakers that we have today. I'll just introduce them, our panels, I'll just introduce them by their names because their bios will be on the screen. So today we have, again, colleagues, I apologize in advance for if I happen to mispronunciate your name because, yeah. So, we have Simon Kalume. He's from AfriYAN. He's from AfriYAN Namibia. And then we have Abdallah Sahib. He's from Epic Youth Organization. And then we have Mr. Duat Grima from UNFPA. Colleagues, again, I am so sorry if I'm butchering your names. I apologize in advance. So, colleagues, kindly introduce yourselves in the chat box. You write where you are from, your organization you're affiliated to, and one thing that makes you stand out from the rest of everybody, to make it fun and engaging, given that we are all young people and we are here to conversate and interact and learn from one another. All right. So, and to make this session very, very interactive, I was hoping to do something different in the sense that I would pick anybody at random to, sorry, yes, I was to make this session interesting. I would pick anybody from the participant list at random to actually introduce themselves and just say something fun about themselves. Are we in agreement with this? All right, so what I have on my screen here, Elia, if you can hear me, kindly switch on your camera and introduce yourself and where you are from. And unmute your mic also.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Elia.
Thank you very much. My name is Elia Kausio from Zimbabwe, and I'm with Young People's Network on Health and Wellbeing, that is AfriYAN chapter in SIM. So yeah, I'm very much excited to be part of this webinar. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. Can we have Brandy? Brandy, if you can hear me, introduce yourself, unmute yourself, and introduce yourself. Okay, Brandy is not here, so can we have Siyabonga? Siyabonga.
Yes, afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, good. How are you?
I'm good. My name is Siyabonga Tabet from the Kingdom of Eswatini.
And the organization you're affiliated to?
I'm affiliated with Family Life Association, FLAS, Family Life Association of Eswatini, Swaziland.
Ah,
Yes.
all right. Okay, thank you, Siyabonga. You can mute your mic now. And then can we get Natasha? Natasha? Okay. Can we get Frank? Frank. Oh, I can't pronounce your last name. Sorry. I'm not even going to attempt.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you, Puvi?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. So, the name is Nziza. That's how we pronounce it. And I'm from Burundi. I'm currently leading Center for Research and Innovation in Burundi, and I used to be AfriYAN president in Burundi.
Ah, can you maybe say that in French so we can hear the accent?
Oui, bien sûr, je peux le dire en français. Alors, moi, c'est Franck Nziza. Je disais que je suis burundais. Actuellement, je suis le directeur d'un centre de recherche d'innovation qui s'appelle Mugangapreneur Innovation Lab. Et voilà, je disais que j'ai été aussi président d'AfriYAN Burundi. Voilà.
All right, thank you very much, Frank. It sounded very nice, nicer in French. All right, colleagues, so I hope the team is ready, the speakers are ready because we're trying to transition into the panel discussion and get into the more interesting and fun stuff. But before that, let's take one more last person and then we can switch to the panel discussions, all right? So, can I get Juliet? Juliet? Okay. Juliet is having issues. Can I get Karen? Karen Nakato. Yes, Nakato. Karen Nakato. Okay. Can I get then Letitia Miyaka?
Where's my hand up? Yes, good afternoon or morning, everyone. My name is Letitia Miaka, AfriYAN Namibia. Thank you.
All right, then thank you for that introduction. You forgot to mention, colleagues, while we get the panelists ready, I'm hoping the panelists are ready. Okay, great. So we're going to address our first question to Mr. Abdallah. So, Mr. Abdallah, the floor is yours. Can you maybe do your little thing and introduce yourself before I give you your question?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abdallah Shuaib. I work for Epic Youth Organization, Kenya, and I'm part of Youth Hub, and I'm glad to be here. Looking forward for a fruitful. Thank you.
All right, so your question is, Mr. Abdallah, through Epic Youth Organization, you have worked extensively with marginalized communities, built strong partnerships with gatekeepers and policymakers, and championed policy reforms in reproductive health. From your experience, what have you been the most significant barriers to turning youth-led evidence and innovation into tangible program or policy change in these underserved settings, and what approaches or alliance have helped you successfully navigate these barriers?
Well, thank you for the question. So, through my work with Epic Youth Organization, I have been engaged with policymakers and traditional gatekeepers across Africa, particularly in Africa. Our experience resonates deeply with aspiration and commitment made by African governments during ICPD 25, where a nation pledged to eliminate preventable maternal deaths, ensure access to modern contraceptives, and gender-based violence, also upheld the rights of adolescents and youth. Yet, despite these bold commitments made by African governments, translating youth-led evidence to innovation into sustainable programmatic or policy change remains an uphill task, especially in underserved and fragile settings. The reason why I'm saying this, one, we have key barriers to policy change in underserved settings. Number one is policy disconnect from community realities. One major barrier in this is the persistence of disconnects between the national policies or framework and the real life experience of young people. Youth-led initiatives rich, actionable, and evidence-rooted in our community realities. However, many African government policy sources and outdated health indicators. And this causes more problem to society because community insights and government database aren't speaking the same language and real-time innovation is impossible to be. Number two, I will talk about institutional rigidity and bureaucracy. Even when there is alignment with ICPD 25 goals or beyond ICPD 25, government systems are often rigid and slow to adapt what is there for youth. Youth-generated solutions are seen as just pilot projects rather than valuable components of national strategies. And bureaucratic or bureaucracy, I will call it red tape, make it difficult to change the needs of community or needs of young people, to integrate new ideas as well, particularly those led by youth and community. And here there is an insight I want to give out to the government official. They need to consider needs of community, from reviewing policies to approval processes. Number three, I will talk about tokenistic youth engagement. Well, while ICPD 25 emphasizes youth participation, but many government and institutions still practice tokenism, inviting youth for meetings, events, or consultation without giving them real decision-making power. This undermines the credibility and the impact of youth-led
Abdallah, I think we lost you there for a second. Mr. Abdallah?
I have used, or we have used as an organization to, despite these challenges, we have found several impactful strategies to translate youth-led evidence into policy action. Number one, linking youth data to national accountability mechanism. We are working very close with national accountability mechanism, especially national SRHR monitoring bodies, to incorporate youth-generated and data into annual health reviews and ICPD 25 progress reports. By aligning our findings with national reporting structures, we increase the credibility and the uptake of our work. Also, I want to give another insight on programmatic lessons. Data without integration is like a GitHub respiratory neuron fox. We need to ensure our evidence not only accessible but interpretable, so that it can help to make informed decision in our policy work or accountability work that we do. Number two is building intergenerational policy coalitions. We find it's a good way to go, because we have formed intergenerational alliances which bring together youth leaders, community leaders, and policy influencers, and also policy makers in a pool or in a table to co-create solutions. This coalition help in bringing the trust gap and ensure that policies are not just youth informed, but also socially grounded. the reason why I'm saying this, because we have tried to bring youth in a table and also government in a table, so that government and youth must collaborate continuously to create a functional, scalable system that will help and merge with the problem that young people are facing. Number three is using digital storytelling and civic technology for advocacy. We leverage on digital storytelling platform, data visualization, and also civic tech tools to make youth evidence more compiling with accessible to everyone, especially targeting issues that are affecting youth. They say, we all know that evidence is more impactful when designed with end user in mind. So we try to make sure that the paper that we write, or we target a certain issue, especially commitment that are being made by government during ICPD 25, and making sure that the ICPD promises are being fulfilled. We are fulfilling the ICPD promises in Africa, and we cannot fulfill the ICPD 25 promises in Africa if youth-led evidence is not recognized and legitimate. Is also, we need to know, is legitimate drivers to policy transformation. And when I say this require not only politically, it will also it also require system reforms. We need to integrate community innovation and also tailor programs that will favor the needs of young people. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much for that insightful conversation, Mr. Abdallah. Also, colleagues, let's not forget to keep our questions for the Q&A sessions. So just note them down, and every question you have for Mr. Abdallah, just note it down, and when the Q&A session opens up, and then you can knock yourselves out, okay? All right. So for our next speaker, we are going to kindly help me invite Mr. Duat from UNFPA. Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Duat. Kindly introduce yourselves, and I'll give you your question after your introduction.
Good afternoon, good morning, colleagues. My name is Dawit. I work in UNFPA Eastern and Southern Africa office based in Johannesburg. I am the youth program specialist for the office. Over to you, Puvi.
All right, thank you. You serve as a youth specialist for UNFPA East and Southern Africa Regional Office Youth Team. Oh, yes, you do. And now your question is, you have extensive experience in adolescent and youth development, SRHR, and tackling harmful practices such as FGM across Eastern and Southern Africa. From the vantage point, how can institutions like UNFPA leverage their influence and resources to strengthen youth-led accountability, especially on sensitive or underfunded issues like SRHR or commodity health systems? And could you share your examples from your work where youth-led data or advocacy directly shaped or designed policy or a program?
Thank you, Puvi. I'm happy to be part of this conversation, and good afternoon again, colleagues in the Zoom. Let's put it in two ways. Now let's focus on institutions in one part, and on the other side, the role of the young people in making youth-led accountability. So institutions like UNFPA has a couple of comparative advantage that helps young people to advance accountability. First one, they have the presence. They have global presence, they have continental presence like our office, or they have presence at the country office level. For example, UNFPA consolidates issues from the country office level, consolidates country experience, country challenges at the regional level, and we present a tablet to at the global level so that member states can pick the agenda and put it as a resolution. So once it is a resolution, young people it means that young people has one instrument to push their agenda. Because once it is endorsed at the HQ level, at the global level by member states, each member state or the signatory for that specific thematic issue will be accountable to respond to any request by whether it's young people or any youth-led associations, networks like AfriYAN. So bringing this agenda top down or from bottom up is one of the leverage or the comparative advantage of institutions like UNFPA. The second one is the capacity to generate knowledge and evidence, which helps to advocate our agenda. Those evidences helps us to be informed, well positioned, well prepared. As you know, accountability is a sharp issue, unless it's like a box fight. And whenever you put the agenda to push it through the accountability point of view, you are heading to a ring. So in a boxing ring, you have to prepare very well. Like you have to know his move. He has to know your punch, so and so forth. So if a youth-led accountability needs to be like effective and focused, it has to be based with evidence. And those evidence usually comes from agencies and institutions like UNFPA. So mapping those institutions, targeting them, reaching out and consolidating those evidence is the role of the young people. And availing such evidences to be used for accountability or any auditing exercise is the role of institutions like UNFPA. In UNFPA, we have a knowledge management practice where we generate evidence, consolidate it into knowledge product, and share it to all institutions that are interested on that specific issue. For example, we work on CSC, comprehensive sexuality education, a sensitive issue. What we do is the first agenda is tabling it to be as a resolution, which is a resolution, and most of African countries have signed that resolution.
Mr.
And the second
Grima, I
one,
think we lost you there for a minute.
can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Let me stop the camera so that the network can help. Is that okay? Should I continue now? Puvi. Hello, Puvi.
We are hearing you clearly. I think it was Puvi's network.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. So I think I don't know at what point it is disconnected, but let me go a bit backward. So I'm mentioning the experience of the comprehensive sexuality education issue. So and once the country officers own that one, it gives you a gray area to push the agenda through accountability point of view. And as the institutions like UNFPA, they usually do such kinds of process, and it is their comparative advantage to position issues to be an instrument for our ground level exercise. So all this process is based by the evidence, scientifically accurate, nationally endorsed, and close to be a reality kind of evidences. So this is the second or the third area of expertise and excellence for institutions like UNFPA. The third and the most important one is thought leadership. As big institutions, once they have the evidence, once they have occupied the space, they usually position themselves as a thought leadership institutions. For example, if you ask yourself if you want to push an agenda on education, the first institution which comes to your mind is basically UNESCO. If you want to talk about the children, you go to UNICEF. If you think about youth empowerment or SRH, you go to UNFPA. So such kind of decision comes out of their thought leadership role on that thematic area. So as UNFPA, we present ourselves to be a thought leadership in areas of SRHR, including youth empowerment, and we are open to share all the resources that we have so that the ultimate goals presented on SDG should be realized. And young people can be comfortable to advance the issue with evidence, with systematic approach, including evidence-based advocacy. So this is the thing that the institutions are supposed to do. But on the other lens, it is the role of young people to empower them, keep them in the table. So as UNFPA, we do a couple of things. One is capacity building to make sure that young people have the capacity and the knowledge to use accountability framework for their specific cause. For our case, let's say intergenerational dialogue or use of digital space or SRHR, whichever it is. So that skill, that capacity is important, and institutions like UNFP has to do that. And we are doing this for 4 centuries on youth empowerment and engagement. We want to make sure that the engagement and participation should be meaningful, impactful, and result-oriented. It shouldn't be a lip service or tokenism, as Abdullah has indicated. The second key important thing that we do is enabling youth networks and associations to occupy space, because spaces are now becoming overcrowded and young people are overwhelmed. So creating a space like supporting AfriYAN or any other institutions, or at the country office level, supporting youth advisory groups, youth networks, so on and so forth, is the role of institutions like UNFPA. UNFPA started the support of AfriYAN from I think about 10 years ago. So now AfriYAN is one of the prominent youth-led organizations to advance the youth agenda and make institutions accountable for their commitment, including UNFPA by itself. A couple of months ago, the chief of UNFPA, AfriYAN in Isaro, was Eastern and Southern Africa, attended our leadership meeting, leadership of our senior leadership management platform. And she asked a lot of questions now, and it created some kinds of a wake-up call kind of told in our office. So they are not even limited to UNFPA or any other organizations. If you empower them in a meaningful way, they will also assist you and be a wake-up call for your institutions as well. And that the last point, which is the very important for you young people to be effective in accountability and in the role of institutions to make that happen, is youth-led innovation. Now things are evolving very fast. Previously, young people are innovators. It is like the tech savvy, so and so forth. But now old people are outpacing young people. So grasping that opportunity to be creative and innovative, finding a new way of solution to realize your accountability agenda is a must. And in institutions like UNFPA, we have been doing a lot of hackathons where young people can bring their thoughts, their ideas, their creativities to bring a solution on SRHR agenda. We have done a hackathon on FGM. We have done a hackathon on the teen pregnancy, on issues which are critical for UNFPA mandate. And most institutions similarly do such kinds of innovation hackathons. So young people has to grab such kinds of opportunities and advance their agenda. So to sum up, empowering young people with different platforms and mechanisms is a key role to position young people, advance the accountability effectively. And at the same time, institutions should translate their opportunity and leverage they have by virtue of their nature, mandate, and role. The combination of the two makes young people and their accountability initiatives effective. Over to you. Thank you, Puvi.
Thank you very much for that insightful message. And of course, empowering young people is a very crucial and important aspect of leadership. So, another question to both of the panels, which includes you, Mr. Grima, and Mr. Abdallah. Okay, so the question goes, what does genuine intergenerational collaboration look like beyond the symbolic inclusion? What structures or practices help it make it work or make it real? So, Mr. Grima, you can go first, given that you're the last speaker, and then Mr. Abdallah can answer after you.
Perfect. So the perfect, not the perfect, the working partnership of our intergenerational dialogue or conversation should have a couple of characteristics to make it impactful. The first issue is, in our experience in working in intergenerational dialogue agenda, is that it has to be framed in a sense of collaboration than not to confrontation kind of approach. In a dialogue, there is two parties. So those two parties come to the table with sometimes not to evade your lines, your interests, so and so forth, but to share and collaborate so that we sort out the problem that we are facing. In our different examples, for example, in FGM prevention programs, intergenerational dialogue is one of the most effective platform. For your information, in some of the evidences, older generation are against FGM, and some of the young people are in favor of FGM. Previously, we thought young people are obviously are against FGM, but the old people are, because it's tradition and customary practice, they are in favor of FGM. But that was not the case. There are so many reasons. But when we bring them together to sort out the problem and put a safe, conducive environment for the next generation, the solution was at the front, in front of their eyes. But previously, what they perceive towards each other is like in a way where they confront each other than pulling their resource together and sort out. So, and any intergenerational dialogue, which has an attribute of collaborative angle, is effective. The second one is having a common goal. What do we need? What do we need from that intergenerational dialogue? In some of the experience that we have, that in some context, young people need a drastic change. It's very difficult for our older generation to change their thoughts, their values, their norms instantly, which is very difficult. But having a commonly agreed goal, a short-term goal, a long-term goal, a broader change will make that intergenerational dialogue effective. So aligning our objectives and goals at the beginning of the conversation makes it very much effective. The third one is a skill. Whether we like it or not, older generation have a lot of skills which even can be considered as a wisdom, which young people doesn't have. Those soft skills are very critical for intergenerational dialogue. At the same time, young people has to map out their skills. What type of skill do you have? Technological, communication, energy, whatever you call it. So bringing those skills and matching with the other group is fundamental instead of doing it in one way kind of approach or street. Usually in intergenerational dialogue with the young people, older generation want to impose everything on young people. So having the skill to show that there is an alternative skill, an alternative complementary approach or complementary insight posed by young people is very important, and it makes it effective. And the last one, if we have the same goal, if you have the same collaborative approach, and if you have matching the skills and thoughts, the last thing which is vital is co-creation. You can't bring a solution to all the people. And older people cannot impose the solutions on young people, which is an outdated one. But co-creating the solutions together and set feasible actions and responsibilities for each parties will make it very much practical and result-oriented. So for young people, whenever you collaborate with young people, older generation, for any technical issues, those four dimensions are vertical, and any intergenerational dialogue that has the attributes of these four elements, at least from our point of view, makes it very much effective. And that is what we saw in SRH interventions, teen pregnancy, FGM, child marriage, and so on and so forth. So this is the experience, and this is the thing that we can share at this point in time. Over, Puvi.
Thank you very much. Mr. Abdallah, the floor is yours, and let's keep in mind the aspect of time when we answer our questions. Mr. Abdallah, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Puvi. So for me, I will say three things. The first one is reflection of real stories. Begin with an end in mind. Before co-creating a program, before doing anything, we need to reflect the real stories. What is the issue that is really affecting maybe community or young people? Before then, we need to begin with an end in mind. If we want to change something, we want to change issues of teenage pregnancy, we need to change issues of gender-based violence, we need to maybe support young people to access contraceptives, we need to have it in mind before even sitting down with maybe government sitting down with young people. So the first thing we need reflection. Then also we need to build infrastructure for youth-led accountability. We need to have a structure that will also give young people power to talk their issues and also see their issues are reflecting in government priorities. Because as I said earlier, mostly maybe young people are being invited even in high level discussions, but they are not given capacity to change the situation that they are in. As much as they will give out real stories, they are just used as salad in a meal. So we want to build an infrastructure where these young people will they can be used as an ingredient in a meal, where without that ingredient, meal will be tasteless. Another thing is co-create national programs as a team. Don't involve young people in a certain level, maybe only in the decision-making table. When it comes to programming, let's involve them. When it comes to evaluation, let's involve them so that we can have the real impact that young people need to see. The only solver is the one who has the problem. So let's involve young people in each process that we are going to implement. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. The importance of involving young people. Thank you for highlighting that, Mr. Abdallah. And given that this is an intergenerational dialogue, I'm going to post a question to the participants, okay? So, colleagues, the question is for the participants. As young people and future leaders of our beloved continent, what accountability mechanisms would you like institutions like UNFPA or your government to set in place to track the commitments and process and promises they have made to us young people? So if you have an answer, kindly raise up your hand and unmute yourself and answer, please. And for the rest of us, we can type our answers in the chat box. All right. So yeah, over to you, colleagues. And if you'd like me to repeat the question again, kindly let me know and I shall repeat the question again. All right. So who is going to answer for us? Okay. So we have an answer from Angel saying not skipping. Oh, can I repeat the question? Okay, the question is, as young people and future leaders of our beloved continent, what accountability mechanisms or measurements should institutions like UNFPA or our government set in place to track the commitments they have promised us? And these commitments could either be the ICPD, the SDGs, and all of that. That's the question. Any takers? Anybody, or should I pick it random? Okay, we have a comment here saying domestic. Sorry, did someone want to speak?
Audible?
Yes, go ahead. The floor is yours.
So this is Yapsra. So I'm from AfriYAN Ethiopia. So to make institutions, including the government institutions, accountable for their work, I think we should do two basic things. And the first is that the use must take the stage, like there should be a kind of user advisory board, user steering committee, who with a fair representation and who could have voices on these things. And also, my second point is that there must be regular reporting on the progress of the planned policies or the implemented strategies. So, by using the two things, I think we can ensure what we call accountability. So thank you. Thank you, Puvi.
All right. Thank you very much. I think Puvi is experiencing some network challenges. Letitia?
Yes.
Yes, my suggestion would be maybe this institution like UNFPA or government set measurable or time bound indicators to say, for example, we are reducing adolescent pregnancy, but by what percent in 3 years or in 2 years, or we are increasing youth representation in decision making bodies by 15%, bodies to, for example, 15% by 2027. Yeah, thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Yes, Puvi, if you're back, you can.
All right, thank you for that, Lakmore. Sorry, colleagues, I'm having troubles with the internet. Technology sometimes gets the best of us. Thank you for your input, Ms. Letitia. We also have a few comments in the chat box. One of them is they should kindly involve young people in every step so that we should work together, and we would like them to link us directly in our respective areas, and they should follow up team or M&E team, and we'll give the report. I think our government should have a platform like Youth Dialogue, which help our government to be accountable and set police like ICPD. Prioritizing youth-led accountability is key for and meaningful engagement in our respective countries. All right, colleagues, keep the conversations ongoing. There's a need to provide evidence-based data advocacy from institutions, but also put the beneficiaries at the center of tracking these different policies. All right. All these suggestions are very, very helpful, and just a quick task for us as young people. I challenge every individual here, I challenge all of us here to actually go find out what policies and commitments have our government signed and how do they benefit or include young people. As young people, we should be very much aware of everything and policies that are happening around us. So for the purpose of time, I need to ask another question and move on, but don't forget to keep the answers flowing in the chat box. So the next question, and this is to all the panelists, including the participants, since we are now all panelists. So the question is, as we move towards ICPT 30, what bold yet realistic commitment would you make or ask of this community to ensure youth priorities are tracked and delivered? That is the question. I'll give the floor to Mr. Abdallah and then to Mr. Gima, and then open the floor to the house. But we can just leave our comments in the chat box for the sake of time. So, Mr. Abdallah, the floor is yours. And if you'd like me to repeat the question, just indicate.
Kindly repeat the question. Thank you.
The question is, as we move toward ICPT 30, what bold yet realistic commitment would you make or ask of this community to ensure youth priorities are tracked and delivered?
Thank you. So, bold commitment that I will make as we are going to ICPD 30 is co-creating programs, bringing maybe more policymakers, as I said earlier, on trying to co-create a program or forming a coalition where I will bring policymakers, community gatekeepers, and youth so that policymakers can tailor a program or can make a policy that will favor or will reflect to the needs of young people. I will support young people so that we can bridge the gap that we have between policy and reality of youth. So that is one. Two, leverage on civic advocacy, that is storytelling. I will continue writing articles to different newspapers, to different journals, to show that young people are being affected with maybe policy that is not favoring them, and also trying to tell them they need to change a role, or maybe they need to unlock resources that will change needs of young people in the community. Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that answer. Mr. Gima, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Puvi. For institutions, as we say, without meaningful engagement and participation of young people in whatsoever intervention that we have, whether it's intergenerational dialogue, youth-led accountability, or any other intervention, it is very, very clear that it doesn't meet its objective. So put young people at the center as a co-creator, as a partner, and as a stakeholder. For young people, now that, as I mentioned earlier, the space is getting like overcrowded. So we have to be smart, we have to be networked, and we have to be vocal. So if you want to meet and be impactful in whatsoever intervention that you have, in whatsoever agenda that you are pushing, create a movement. A silo, this disconnected intervention or individual effort cannot bring any change. So bring yourself together, create the network, create the bigger movement. Then that result that you are looking for is at the next door. So if you want to be like to have an impact, create a movement. Thank you, Puvi.
All right, thank you very much. It's all about creating impact and meaningfully being engaged. So colleagues, we have come to our Q&A sessions. So I'll take 2 or 3 questions for each speaker, and then we will proceed from there. So colleagues, the floor is yours. If you have any burning questions for the panelists, go right ahead. You can either type it in the Q&A area or you can unmute yourself and ask. So yeah, over to you.
Hi, Puvi. I had just one quick question to Mr. David.
Right?
Okay, Mr. David, thank you for your insights today. I'm just curious, when we're thinking about scaling youth-led accountability across the different countries in the region that UNFPA has supported, how do we do that without losing that local context and authenticity that makes these initiatives work well? And I'm just thinking from a regional perspective, because what might work for Kenya, where I'm from, might not work for, let's say, Ethiopia, where you're from, or from Namibia or Angola.
Okay. Mr. Grima, I hope you took note of your question. Yes, Lakmo?
All right, thank you very much, Puvi. So my question is directed to Abdallah. Thank you for what you have raised in terms of the importance of recognizing young people as equal partners and also engaging them at all levels. So my question is, what mechanisms should be put in place to effectively monitor and evaluate youth participation? Because for quite a long time, we have been talking about this, and young people have been complaining about tokenism. But then if we don't monitor, if we don't measure meaningful youth participation, it's very difficult now to know if young people are really being engaged. So what mechanisms should we put in place so that we monitor and evaluate youth participation? Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Lakmore. Can I have 2 more questions, colleagues? 2 more questions before we let our panelists answer. Okay, there's one question here. It says, how can we bridge the gap between formal education and real-life sexual experiences? Oh, sexual experiences, young people. Okay. And we have another, I don't know who that question is directed to, but any of the speakers can answer it. And we have another question, how to include ICPT and ODD for young people who needs to integrate new generations of skills. I don't know if it's now a comment or a question, but thank you for that. Perhaps you can clarify. Any other comment or question before we hand over to our panelists to answer their questions? All right, panelists, we can answer our questions that were addressed to us, please. Mr. Abdallah, go ahead. You start, and then Mr. Grima answers.
Yes, thank you. So the question is mechanism to put in place to improve youth participation. So it starts with us as young people, and also maybe fighting for our space, the first thing we need to do that. And when I say fighting our space, is when you have been involved in a decision-making table, make sure that you have all the capabilities that someone need to sit in that decision-making table. Not only sit there for the sake of rubber stamping the process, making sure You are being involved as a stakeholder, as a partner, as whichever that is being needed. Your ideas are reflecting to the government priorities, not only taking it as a favor. So the first thing, the government need to involve young people in every situation. That is, they need to involve young people and give them power, not only to sit at the table, but also in these political spaces, so that these needs of young people can reflect to their needs. Two,
I think Mr. Abdallah, we lost you there for a second. Or is it just me?
Could hear
No,
him.
I also lost him.
All right. Okay. While we wait for Mr. Abdallah to get back to us and get, yes, his network sorted out. For the sake of time, colleagues, we would like to maybe get 1 minute reflection from the panelists, just 1 minute and key takeaways, and then we can just call it a day. So, Mr. Grimmer, if you're still online, please, 1 minute reflection and key highlights or key takeaways just for a minute.
Thank you, Puvi. Maybe less than one minute. So I want to stress on two points. One, the young people have to like grasp all the opportunities that we get in whatsoever level it is, and translate it to the benefit of our peer groups. The opportunity with digital space, the opportunity with internet connectivity, the opportunity with the expansion of education, the opportunity with the emphasis of different institutions, whether it is tokenism or a real youth participation, giving them the space and be part of the conversation. That is a very good opportunity which young people should capitalize before embarking a full scale of accountability or any accountability initiatives. That gives you the space and be respected on the space that you want to try to have. That is the key and important thing, empowering yourself, occupying the space and grasping all the platform which helps young people to voice their interest. That is mandatory for any accountability platform. The second one is being informed on the existing initiatives, the existing commitments, the existing stakeholders is very critical to make accountability framework. We should, whether we like it or not, someone somewhere has started the agenda. So finding that niche and engaging in that on that ship and sailing together makes it effective. In a place where there is the resources limited, people are in a rush in every angle of the world. We don't have the luxury of the resource, the time, the energy. So being smart, being innovative and forward looking makes it impactful and result oriented. Thank you, Puvi.
All right, thank you very much for that key and very crucial takeaway. Yes, colleagues, for the purpose of time, unfortunately we have come to an end of our dialogue. However, this does not mean that the conversations should end here. We can make use of our social medias and we can conversate with, you can get hold of AfriYAN EC on their Instagram, on their Twitter pages. You can get hold of Youth Power Hub on their Instagram, on their Twitters. And Of course, colleagues, let's not forget to thank our beloved partners that made this experience in this dialogue possible. And those partners are UNFPA, UNESCO, Y-ACT, and Youth Power Hub. So thank you very much for that. And also, colleagues, let's not forget to continue these dialogues, continue these conversations. Let's continue to try to better our spaces in our communities and fight for our rights and hold our governments and leaders accountable for the promises they've made us. So, colleagues, thank you for taking time and being here with us. We will see you on our next event. So, yes, enjoy the rest of your day, colleagues. Goodbye. It was a mess. It was a mess.